it's interesting. So I grew up Episcopalian. I went to Episcopalian schools. Like, so I grew up in a very like traditional religious upbringing. And then obviously was not into, but was like, didn't like being forced to go to church, like really rejected it, but have always considered myself like a very spiritual person. Um, and honestly, I was really struggling with depression, like probably like a year ago, and like got down on my knees and I was like, I can't keep living like this. Like this cannot be how I'm moving through the world. Like I just hit like a ceiling with it. And in that moment, I decided I was gonna like start doing these like daily readings and like non-denominational books, but like, all but with the through line of like God and like kind of spirituality. Like one of them is like it's a Melody Beattie book. One of them, I can't remember the name of it. It's great. My mom gave it to me actually. And I just was like, okay, well, every morning when I wake up, I'm gonna take 10 minutes and I'm gonna like read these books. And that's how I'm gonna start my day. Is like from a place of like spirituality. And then it's like I did gratitude lists for a while and like all this different stuff. And it's all kind of culminated into like this kind of like awakening of my like personal faith and also like these thoughts about God and like these ideas about like how God is just like imperfect. And it's like because we're imperfect and if we're made in God's image, like how can that God be perfect when we're not? And just this idea of like, I don't know, it's like I'm really obsessed with like the ways in which we mimic God and like in our lives and like how we like play creation with like creating children. And it's like, you think like people who are super mindful and like they have kids and it's like you think like how could you have a kid like and bring a kid into this world or whatever XYZ, and it's like sometimes they don't have an answer for it, but it's like they just felt like compelled to do it. It's like even though you're gonna have this kid and like they're gonna come into a world that's fucked up and like they're gonna get hurt and be hurt and all this stuff, it's like the you're willing to take the risk that they're going to experience pain because you want them so badly to exist.
Oof.
And like that's how I think God feels about us. That it's like God is willing to like risk us experiencing pain, and it's painful for like God, and it's painful for God for us to experience pain, but it's worth it to God to have us exist and like all that comes with us existing.